What up? I'm Dead Heat. Yeah! So today I wanted to talk about networking and wanted to share some stories that I've experienced as well as give some advice, because some of you people are really good at networking, but there's also some of you that are really not good at networking. And I'm hoping that this video can help you guys. So here we go. All right, so the first rule that I've adopted, and I've always used this, is to be nice to everyone. And I say that because you never know what someone will do for you later on down the line. So if you're nice to everyone that you could possibly be nice to, even if they're jerks to you, it'll make a world of difference because you'll stand out in that person's mind later on. You also have to be relevant and keep that communication line open. Even if someone's a dick, be like, all right, hey man, next time, maybe I'll hit you up or something. And, I'll share a new beat with you, or I'll share a new verse with you. And maybe that'll be the thing that'll, help cement your relationship. So be nice to everyone, especially if they're dicks to you. Kill them with kindness. That's what I live by. I have been personally networking on Instagram and a decent amount on Facebook too. And there was this one guy on Facebook when I was giving away free beats, and I was trying to get people to give me their emails so that I can be in touch with them and start building a relationship with them. And I have one guy on Facebook who's like, hey, once you release a beat, once someone uploads it to streaming services, it's useless to everyone else. And I'm like, that's absolutely not true. I have 2 degrees in music business, and I broke it down for him how that is not an accurate statement. And I wrote him this whole big paragraph that I was very respectful too. And I wrote him this whole big paragraph thing, and he ended up blocking me after reading that. He's like, oh, it would take too much time to explain it to you about why it would be useless for 2 artists to upload the same beat. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. This guy's ridiculous. So I kept my distance. He ended up blocking me, but I was very respectful in my response, and I just think he didn't want to look stupid in front of everyone. And that's not my intention. I was just trying to inform and educate, and that's, kind of what I want to do when someone comes at me like that. There was also another guy on Instagram who, I've been doing this thing where I've been checking out people's music and shit, and I'll go through and I'll actually listen to their music because I want to see if we're going to align on anything in terms of production versus their lyrical content. And if it's a match, then I message them and I'm like, hey, your shit's kind of dope. I really like your flow. I really like this. I like that. And, I really mean those things when I say that, because I'm out there sifting through fucking really thousands and thousands of fucking accounts and people, and I'm actually listening to their music, and, I'll cite it to them and be like, yo, this is what I like, man. So, I've sent out a bunch of fucking messages like that on Instagram. And I know that Instagram's new system has a primary and a general mailbox. And I know I'm getting thrown into general, but like 60 to 70% of the time, people will move me to primary and we'll have a conversation because they appreciate that shit. They appreciate someone checking their music out and being like, hey, what's up? And I don't mention that I make beats at this point. I do not mention that I'm a producer. It's obvious. Again, I mentioned this in a previous video, if you've been following me, that it's obvious once you go to my page that I'm a producer, and people are going to be curious about me when I'm like saying, hey, what's up? And complimenting their shit. So they're going to go check it out. They're going to look. They're going to see that I make beats. And I don't even mention that I make beats at this point. And honestly, maybe about 50 or 40% of the time, they'll turn around and be like, yo, you make beats. You're a producer, right? Your shit's hot. Like, I checked it out, blah, blah, blah. And then we just get to talking from there. And it's levels. So you're building that level. You're going up to the next level, next level, next level, next level. But there was this guy who took the message that I gave him, and, I really complimented his flow and his style, and he didn't respond. It wasn't even stuck on red. It was just one of those things where, all right, well, I guess it got lost in the inbox. Until he responded. And he responded with spam. Like, he's like, here, this is my new album coming out. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? You didn't even give me a genuine response. You're just spamming me now at this point. And so I was thrown back, and I said something about it to him, and I was like, that's really not at all how to network with someone. If I'm reaching out to you like this, I'm trying to build a relationship with you, and I really did like your work, et cetera, et cetera. And he's just like, he responded, and it was another one of those. It was a small-minded response, and it was like basically him defending his actions. Um, and I really didn't appreciate any of that. So I was on the side of being in a negative situation where someone was negative towards me, but they were also negative towards themselves. So I deaded that relationship. I got rid of that kid. I blocked him. I want nothing to do with him. And that's kind of how you have to be. You have to understand that people in their interactions with other people have a two-step process to block you. You hit the three buttons, the three little fucking dots, and you go to block. It's quick, it's easy, it's done. So that's why I'm saying be nice to everybody. It comes back to being nice to people. All right, so next is that if you're trying to network and get in with like a bigger artist that's got a following, you got to build that relationship. You really do. And you got to basically, there's several different approaches you could take when you're trying to get into someone's inbox and get their email from them. And I've been pretty successful in this regard because, I think I have decent communication skills, and it's showing, it's proving when I do this. And, recently I had one of my fucking hands down favorite artists hit me back, and we're like building a relationship, and we're trying to work with each other. Because I did something really nice for him, and I gave him something that was special to me, and I knew it would be special to him. At the last show, we did a show together back in like April of this year, and I got to open up for him, and that was completely unrelated. I didn't know him at the time in terms of a personal relationship. I've been following this guy for over 20 years though, as a musician and as one of my favorite fucking artists. So, sorry. Guess what I live next to? So yeah, and I gave him something nice, and I just kept building. I kept talking to him, be like, "Hey, what up? What up? What up?" And not to the point where I'm a pain in the ass, but it's something where like, hey, just remember me when that's up. Just remember me when you have that shit in your home, sort of thing. Since I gave him the gift, and yeah, it's been a cool journey for me this year, because I've been networking, and I've been stepping up my networking game. And I would say that every situation is different, especially with a big artist. If you know someone's catalog, front to back, that you're trying to hit up, that you're dying to work with, it would make sense for you to be like, hey, this is something, like this album, this song is something that got me through a rough time. Thank you for that. And then pitch. And be like, hey, I'm a producer, and, I would like to get my beats into your hands. Is there an email that I can send, my beats for consideration? And it's just a respect game. It's a respect game. It's a step-by-step process, and you're building. So step one is like, I always say step one in networking with a major artist or a minor indie artist or a major indie artist or someone that's just got a decent following that you're trying to fuck with and help get your name out there. Be nice. Number one. Number two, compliment their work in the past. 3, personalize it. Make it personal to you and your situation and what you've done. Tell a quick story, a quick anecdote, 1 or 2 sentences long. You don't want to write a whole fucking novel. Just be like, yo, I've been a fan of yours for a very long time, and this song got me through this period. That's you personalizing it, and you showing appreciation. And a lot of times, if they read it, if they do truly read it, they'll give you a response, man. And this is how I got a lot of emails from artists that I grew up listening to. There's a certain artist that I would love to work with who passed away, and I was kind of close to working with him because the guy at the studio that I fuck with knew his manager, and it was a whole thing, and we were working it out. And it didn't happen in time. And I don't like to say any names, but anyway. So if you're in someone's inbox like that, it's always best to be personable, and compliment. Personalize it, and then ask. So it's like, it's a 4-step thing. If you could achieve all those in 4 sentences or 5 or 6 sentences or less and make it not a novel, you're winning. You're doing good. But at the same time, if you're networking like this, you need to make sure that your product is on point. Step number 1, all the way back before this, is putting in your 10,000 hours of work and making sure that your product and your beats are dope and that they will align with people that you're hitting up. So it's a tremendously involved game if you're doing everything on your own, if you're doing everything by hand or by thumbs. You know, we live in that age where it's completely digital. Almost everything is completely digital. And you need to basically be that guy that gets your name out there. So if you're not making money off your beats and you've put in your 10,000 hours and you know you have a good product, then you're lazy. And I hate to say it, but you're lazy. You need to get out there and you need to do all these things. You need to network. Network, network, network. It will get you so far. A lot further than where you would be if you're just sitting on your ass. You know, there's excuses left and right, like, oh, I'm too tired, oh, it's the holidays, or oh, this and that. It's just, you know, you're making excuses for yourself as to why you can slack off. And there really is no good excuse that you can make for yourself. So, yeah. I hope this has helped some of you people. A lot of you are really good at networking. A lot of you are really not. Take it as a grain of salt. If I had asked a major artist for feedback on my songs or my beats or something like that, I'm going to take what he says, not personally, but I'm going to take it constructively. And I'm going to be like, all right, well, maybe my drums are not as good as they could be. So I'll make fucking improvements. And I'm like, hey, man, I'll get back to you in about 2 months. And, you know, maybe you can give me a critique on that, on the next shit, on the new shit. So, you know, you also have to gauge where you are in terms of progression as well. So, again, I hope this has helped people. You know, I'm not going to say smash that like button because I'm not like that. But if you'd like to help me out, it would be dope. If you hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all that shit. I'll put my Instagram, which is where most of my beats reside. I'll put my website down in the info. If you want to check me, I appreciate it. Yeah, other than that, thank you guys. And keep warm this winter. Yeah, dead heat.